Well, welcome back to the channel. We're out on the bike today. I originally wasn't going to record, but man, something about the fall here lately. Just trying to capture as much of it as the colors as I can. I think the peak is come and gone. A lot of the leaves are falling, but it's still so pretty to ride around, and I couldn't pass up this opportunity. I've been working in the garage on all my projects non-stop, and today was 78 degrees. Unfortunately, nobody else is really available to tag along, so I'm just kind of out here solo. But tomorrow is supposed to be another nice day as well, so hopefully we can get out again today, or tomorrow again. But all I've wanted to do here lately is sit in the garage and work on my projects, and I was like, man, I gotta get out. I gotta like take advantage of this riding weather. So now I'm riding the bike with the brand new basically rally dash, I don't know, navigation dash, adventure dash, whatever you want to call it. Everything's working, it's great, everything's within my line of sight. I can actually see my turn signal indicator. I like where my GPS is at. The other thing I've really been toying with is actually is moving my windshield up a couple of inches actually. Wouldn't be too hard to do. I could probably make my own custom brackets for that too to reinforce it. It'd just be nice to have a little bit more wind protection on those 55 mile per hour and up areas. I don't do those very often, but I mean, they are on the routes, so. Look at these colors. We're actually out on one of my routes again today. It's really the only routes I have that are close to me relatively. I mean, they're still, I don't know, 20-30 minutes just to get to on the highway. And I don't know if I'll do the full route on this one today, because it roughly takes somewhere around 3.5-4 hours depending on how I ride. I'm kind of timing myself right now just to see, and I might split it in half because I don't want to be out too late. Crazy enough, this is a 2-lane road. Dragging that back tire. It doesn't look that steep on camera, but it's just steep enough, and all the gravel's so loose it makes that corner kind of technical. If you come up over that hill with too much speed, you'll just lock them up and slide, and luckily it goes into a straightaway that's paved, but if you've never done it before, it kind of sneaks up on you. This is actually the road I grew up on. I think I've said that before in a previous video, but when I grew up on this road, this was not chip and seal. This was all gravel, hard packed mud. In the winter time, they drive by and just throw rocks down on top of the snow. Be like, yeah, that'll help, you peasants. Really, the biggest reason I've been wanting to get out too on the DR is just so I don't forget how to ride on dirt. Like, I've literally only ridden on dirt on a good route, I think, twice since I've come back from Europe. So that was what, the end of July. Really haven't been out on dirt that much, and it's kind of showing. The last time I went out, I definitely could tell I wasn't as used to riding on gravel roads and whatnot and feeling the bike move under me. So it's definitely a skill that you got to kind of keep going and actively practice. Just don't get good thinking about it. So that's why I'm out. Try not to get too rusty before winter. And then in the spring I get to start all over again. But last time, I think the best way I learned was literally I went out and I was going all day on gravel. And by the time I got home, that was like the best I ever felt on gravel. You really just got to push yourself and stay out. I mean, I remember when I first started, the fastest I could go was like between like 18 and 23 miles an hour, and now I'm out here doing 40. So wow, that's surprising. So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like, practice. I'm definitely I consider myself an average cautious rider. I'm not gifted by any means, and I'm not a stunt man. I'm just very cautious because I can't really afford to go to the hospital, nor do I really want to. I've been talking to one of my buddies about riding dirt bikes and adventure riding and stuff, and honestly, I don't know how many years I've got it in me to do it, really. With the way my body is aging and how broken it is by now. I mean, I have not been gentle to my body, and I've talked about that crap enough, I feel like. I'll probably end up transitioning out of, riding the dirt bike in a year or so, maybe a little longer, just depends. And I'll probably even stop riding the Sportster too, because I mean, for all the work I've done to it, it's not a comfortable bike, honestly. And that brings me to, what bike am I going to get next? So recently I was kind of vocal about how much I liked the BMW R9T. Those are cool bikes. Not a lot of wind protection, because this is kind of a bike that Jess wants me to get for touring if I wanted to ride, across the country with her or something. And I can definitely see that, but I also want it to be light enough for me to continue doing, this. Just back road, gravel riding, exploration. Nothing really crazy. I mean, these are all public roads, but I want something that I'll be comfortable doing that with. So I mean, the BMW, sure, they make the Urban GS. They're pretty damn capable. I think that's proven. But they're also still about 500 pounds. I've also been looking at, I really like the Triumph Scramblers, but now they have the Triumph 1200 Scrambler X, the EX, the ECs. Jess actually had one of those ones before. And I wish I knew more about it then, or was more interested in adventure riding. I probably would have tried to have kept it, but again, that bike also is kind of heavy. Honestly, it's a little over 500 pounds. I just caught a massive nasty bug on my windscreen. That is absolutely gross. I don't even know what to get that off with. Holy shit. other bikes I've kind of toyed around with maybe looking at are like, I don't know, I always liked the Yamaha XSR 700s, but I mean, that's more sport bike than anything. It doesn't have a fairing. So you kind of see where I'm kind of going around in circles with trying to find a bike that I like the looks of, because I want something that kind of has a retro appeal to it and not just, you know, some new age design. Wow, this is some thick gravel here. Very, very deep. I feel it washing all over the place. So, I mean, I've even thought about a long time ago, because it's like I like riding my wife's Pan America, but I don't particularly care for the looks that much. It's not the worst one out there, to be honest. So, it's not that I don't like it, but I wouldn't, like, keep it. So, I've always wanted to do, like, a front-end conversion on a Pan America to, like, a round headlight. I think that'd be, like, something really cool, and I probably won't be the first one or first person to ever think of that. But I don't know, like, and again, like, the Pan America is, you know, 550 pounds, so I'm really not gaining any weight ground there. But also, if I'm going to be riding a bike across country, do I want something as light as the DR? Because I get blown around on the DR. Like, it is a tussle every time I go out on the highways, that is. But on these back roads, it's a gem. I love my DR. I got my DR over a KLR simply because it weighs almost 100 pounds less than a KLR. So that made a lot of sense to me. But when I'm looking for something that has, you know, the ability to travel and do these back roads, the KLR, it's not really what I'm looking for. I need something that can do both the highway pulls and the lightweight. So I don't know, that's a lengthy conversation and thought process that I've been going through with Jess, and to no real avail. Because I mean, I have people recommend like the Kawasaki Versys, but it's like I hate the front ends of them. Just like the Africa Twin, they're cool bikes, I just don't want that front end. And yeah, like, you know, the Sportster days are numbered. I like it. I've been working on that bike for what, going on 4 years now, and I've got it to the point where I'm like the happiest I've ever been with it, but it can only do so much. And I mean, it's still, at the end of the day, it's only a $3,000 Sportster. Maybe worth a little more by now. I don't know. It's getting tricky riding these gravel roads with all the leaves on the ground. Really hides some of the bigger bumps. Ooh, right there. Oof, and there. Just a lot of washboard. And up out of the valley. Oh, the other bike I kind of looked at too briefly was the Ducati Desert X. Man, that bike looks cool. And you can get a huge gas tank on them. Like, I'm talking like, I think it's like 6 gallons or something. But the problem is I don't want to do the Ducati service because the weird Desmo valve train, whatever. It's kind of a steep hill. Yeah, I just don't like that service, because I can't remember what the service interval on it. It's like not much. It's like 20,000 miles and all. But it's, I don't know. I've heard nightmare stories about that, and we had a friend that went through a nightmare with it, and I just don't know if that's something I want to sign up for. Gotta get this bug off my helmet. That's one way to do it. They have done a wonderful job. They actually came through and painted this and tried to cover the graffiti. That is awesome. Absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna try to take a picture. So, I have all these GPX files now, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing them on my Discord. I'm not real active in my Discord. I don't really have a lot of people in my Discord that are active either. It's where I post my early access to my videos. If you even knew that I did that, I do early access. I try to, like, if you ever become like a member on the YouTube channel, I have like a key to join my Discord, so I think I'm going to try to post them in there, see if that's even a thing that Discord offers, to allow files to be downloaded like that. I don't know, we'll find out. Man, I've actually forgotten quite a bit of this route. It's been a little while since I've done this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love it. Like, I forgot just how good it is, because this was like my first route I made, and I spent a lot of time kind of researching the roads. But also, it's like a lot of the roads that we're on, it's like I grew up on, so it's like I was kind of familiar with a lot of those back streets. I think that's just why it's so good, and it just like kind of hits me right in my spot. Well, the first battery finally died. Alrighty. Now that we're behind that guy, let's go follow his dust. This is a pretty good hill climb here. I'm amazed how clear the road is. Must be a good bit of traffic coming through here to blow it off. See, now I'm just like so happy that I talked myself into coming out to ride, because it's just, the scenery is just great. So let's talk about my Garmin navigation. The way I use my Garmin is on my phone. I have an application called Explore. And I believe that application is technically more so made for hiking in a way. It is just a GPX viewer. I believe it's free. I don't know if you have to have a Garmin device to utilize the features of Garmin Explore. I don't know that. But I make all my routes through Garmin Explore on my phone in combination with the website that you can log into and also create routes on Explore. It's a very diverse, flexible program, or I should say, was. The newest update for Explore that Garmin has done, I don't know how to explain this for everyone to understand if you don't utilize GPX routes. Basically on Garmin's you have courses, tracks, and routes. Courses are, from what I understand, just making the course. It's kind of like previewing a route on Google before you tell it start. On my Garmin, I use tracks. So tracks will show up on my map. It will not give me turn-by-turn directions, which is fine because I don't really want it to. I just want to be able to follow along. Routes are what give you your turn-by-turn direction. And that's how I understand it. If I'm wrong, tell me down below. That's just been my experience with these programs thus far. Everyone seems to have slightly different opinions of Garmin and how it interacts and how it's kind of clunky and archaic in a way. But I've grown to use it and got used to it. So the program Explore, the newest update, has removed the ability for me to go in and create my courses, and then I used to convert them into tracks. So now that I can no longer make tracks, I can't view my courses or tracks on my Garmin. And I contacted Garmin and went through their technical support, and they were like, well, no, Explore can't do tracks like that. I'm like, well, you used to be able to. I used to be able to copy them into courses, routes, whatever. It's just when you do a route, not all road information is known for turn-by-turn. So it will randomly maybe reroute and delete a certain section, and you might lose a bit of it when you convert it to a route. At least, again, that's been my experience. So I was pretty disgruntled. I even posted on Instagram my displeasure with that whole conversation about how they have pretty much alienated me from utilizing that app to the function and capability that I was previously using with their newest update. And I really hope they fix it. Funny enough, I got curious, so I started messing around with it. So I created a course, exported it as a file on my phone, and then re-imported it, and it came in back on the Explore app as a track. What kind of freaking sense does that make? You're telling me I can't create tracks, but if I import a GPX file, all of a sudden it's a track. But I can't just copy my course in the app as a track like I used to be able to. You see my frustration? This is where, like, and I guess like I am not the first one to experience Garmin like this. Other people have complained about their technical side. That's basically my whole rant on my Garmin. Do I regret my Garmin? No, I actually really like my Garmin. I have the Zumo XT, and my buddy has the Zumo XT2. He even loves it. He's learned how to use it really well. They are slightly different because the XT2 utilizes the Tread app, which is like their newest program, so it's pretty powerful. And the XT used to use the Explorer. I mean, I guess it, ooh, that was slick. I guess it still does. Man, that is some deep gravel. I guess it still uses the Explorer app, but they've pretty much neutered it in a way, which I don't know, that's just annoying. Anyways, I digress. Maybe perhaps one day I'll just upgrade to an XT2, but I'd like to play with maybe my buddies first and see how the Tread app modifies and creates files. Man, this is a loose surface. What'd they do through here? Downshift. It is loose and dusty. Especially with that Shinko back tire, it is fighting for traction. I feel like this video is just kind of turning into like a current events video while I just ride ADV. It's kind of funny. Oh, that's a stop sign. Okay, we're good. That stop sign came out of nowhere.
Are you okay?
A f***er came out of nowhere.
But that's okay. I mean, every once in a while I just gotta kind of get these out and vent and talk, and it's actually almost kind of therapeutic for me in a way, I guess. Oh, we got a side-by-side. Oh boy. We got more cars coming. Well, for all the good words, I was just talking about the Garmin. It looks like my battery is halfway down on my Garmin, which is weird because it's hardwired to the bike. And so now that it's halfway down, the brightness of the screen has also gone down, and it won't let me turn it back up. So I just turned the bike off and restarted it. Now it's full brightness again. The battery does show... Oh, nope, it just went down again. Alright, I'm gonna turn this camera off and I'll catch up with you later. Okay, after a lot of trial and error, the little box being a internally resettable fuse, that is wrong. This actually takes 12 volt power and trips it down to 5 volt. So that's what it runs off of. So the fact that I had it wired directly into the system with a 7.5 amp fuse, it just was basically kicking it off and just not charging. So now I know if you have these, you have to have that, because apparently the Garmin runs off 5 volt for the dock charger.